episode of the Bubcast. They were talking about the NFL live preview, and my guest today is Dave, the NFL Knowledge Thompson.
That's right. I'm excited, Billy. I'm excited. We've been talking about this draft since last year, since last summer when we did a preview that never got aired on the NFL season. But it happened, and we've had a hell of a draft, and I'm excited to talk with you about it.
Are you ready?
Fire away.
Let's talk about your Eagles first.
My Eagles first. Well, I'll tell you what. Everybody loves Howie Roseman right now, and I do too. Howie's done a great job. He's a superb cap manager, but he's really only turned it around in the last 2 years. Remember, this guy drafted J.J. Whiteside Arcega before he got and passed up DK Metcalf. Remember, he drafted Jalen Reagor before Justin Jefferson. So Howie's had a good last 2 years, and he manages the cap pretty superbly and made some fantastic trades. So this year, he crushed it. The Eagles crushed it, and it's not just him. Let's not give him all the credit in the world. The Eagles put themselves in position with great trades, and then they picked up a fantastic upper class, or a first round draft, because they had picked up the Saints' #1 draft pick, and they stunk this past year. So there's the overview real quick. If we go Jalen Carter, the greatest thing to say about Jalen Carter is that the video of Micah Parsons getting sick and saying he physically felt ill knowing that we got Jalen Carter.
Is that it?
That's just the first salvo, man. Let's hear your introduction and your take on the 2023 NFL draft.
Well, you want to know what I think?
Yes, of course. That's why we're here.
I think the steal of the draft, as I hate to say, is, as a shocker, is my former Florida Gator quarterback going #4, Anthony Richardson to the Indianapolis Colts.
That's a big one. That was a big one. Why is that a shocker?
Look, I think that's a shocker because personally, I think he's good. But I didn't think he was going to get drafted 4. I thought late first round, second round. I personally thought he should come back another year, but apparently he proved me wrong. And I thought he was good. I just think he was a top 10 quarterback. I like Richardson. I always have. He's the reason Florida didn't get blown out a couple games, but all their games, because he's quick, he can throw, and he kind of reminds me of Cam Newton back in his prime.
Off the chart athleticism. Off the chart. Not a finished product yet, but when you look at the set of skills that man has, how could you not invest some time and energy? And of course, at the Colts, he's got Shane Steichen, who guided Jalen Hurts, coaching him. Right place, right time.
Thinking about Jalen Hurts, what do you think about that huge contract?
Well, it was team friendly. That's the best thing about it. They were able to get it and lock him in before Burrows and before Lamar Jackson, and without giving him a guarantee. So it worked. It couldn't have worked out better. They're pushing the big cap numbers down the line, 2026, 27, so that they can, so he's got a decent salary, decent cap numbers in the next 2-3 years, and we can build a team around him. I love it.
Because the Colts haven't had a quarterback since, out of nowhere, Andrew Luck retired. So they're hoping this man can bring them back to the promised land, since I believe last time they won a Super Bowl was my favorite quarterback of all time, Peyton Manning.
Yes, it was the last time they won a Super Bowl. Are you a Colt fan now that Richardson's joined them? Because I know you're a Bronco guy.
No, I'm a Bronco guy.
Okay, but Colts maybe second favorite team because Richardson.
No, I'm a Bronco guy.
All right. Well, let's spin. Let's get your top takes on the Bronco draft right now.
I thought the Broncos had a good draft. I thought this Mims Jr. fella and this Sanders fella were good. Some people say that Mims Jr. coming out of Oklahoma late should have been maybe a first-round pick.
Marvin Mims or Malcolm Mims?
Whatever his name is. Marco Mims coming to Denver with his quick hands out of Oklahoma.
Okay.
And then they got Sanders, linebacker out of Arkansas.
Okay.
Looking to make their defense stronger.
Who was their first-round pick?
Mims. They didn't have a first round,
Oh,
third round,
oh,
and they got some good talent. And next year, I think it's all on the shoulders of Russell Wilson. You got Tim Patrick coming back. You got Judy. You got Sutton. If Mims can turn out to be good, you got Mims. That's 5 good receivers.
Who's in the backfield for those guys?
Javonte Williams, if he comes back, better than ever.
What do you mean if?
Sorry. When he comes back,
There you go.
better than ever.
And they've got the right coach for Russell Wilson right there. I mean, look at Sean Payton and what he did with Drew Brees. Just look at that. So this is going to be he's got the perfect coach to restore his career, and the Broncos have finally added some weapons to make it happen.
I don't really think they added weapons. They had a couple offensive line, which I like, because last year their offensive line stinked, was terrible, and Wilson always got hammered. And everyone's like, why is Wilson always getting hammered? I'm like, you can't give a quarterback 3 seconds to. 3 seconds you can, my bad. You can't give a quarterback 1 second. As soon as that hike back here, you can't have Wilson, a guy already be in his face.
Exactly.
You got to have, at least, I say most you can give him is 3.
Okay.
If he can't get the ball out in 3 seconds, then it's his fault.
I agree.
3 seconds. What did Tom Brady do back in his prime? He had the ball out in 3 seconds.
Brady, a 2-point. He kept lowering it. He was down to 2.6, 2.5. He's a master.
Patrick Mahomes, what's he get the ball out in, maybe before 3 seconds?
Yeah.
But a quarterback's able to get the ball out in 3 seconds.
All right. So, anything else you really liked about Denver? You got those. How'd they do late rounds? Did they pick anybody up in the late rounds that you liked?
Okay. We'll see.
Okay.
Once you get past the 5th, 6th, it's all about third round. You can always get steals, but once it's past the 5th, 6th, it's always about how you think they're going to do. You got to make the team. But I think Mims will make the team and Sanders. And from there, these guys are going to have to earn their spot. Sanders is going to have to work with the bringing back of Vance Joseph.
He's your former head coach?
Defensive coordinator.
Oh, you think he's got any bad blood feeling with the Broncos because they bounced him?
He knows he's not a head coach. Unlike your Eagles over here that that you think they're going to choke through the Super Bowl.
Hey, they didn't play well defensively in the Super Bowl, but they were playing the greatest quarterback.
They didn't have any stops in the second half.
I know.
You know what I would have done if I was defense coordinator?
What? Blitz.
Yeah. Not every play, but like when Mahomes brings the ball out here and you're bringing just a 4-man rush, you're giving him 7, 8 seconds third ball. You could probably stand back there with 8 seconds of someone giving you a third ball. With those weapons, just.
So, I like the late round actions. I love late rounds. I love value picks that drop. Remember, Jason Kelsey was a 6th round pick.
Remember this? Tom Brady
was a 6th round pick. Nice. So, I liked who the Eagles picked up in the late rounds. Not the quarterback they got, this guy Tanner McGee, but they got a defensive tackle whose name I can't pronounce, Momo Orowo.
Wait, you asked me. Now it's mine. Who's your steal of the NFL draft? You got my steal. Now who's yours?
Steal of the NFL draft.
You can't say the same one as me.
Keely Ringo from Georgia, defensive back, 4th round, Eagles.
Eagles, of course. We knew you were going to say Eagles.
Well, they were talking this guy's 1st round talent.
Wasn't Carter supposed to go 1st round?
Who?
Wasn't Carter supposed to the first 3 picks?
Yeah. Carter was supposed to be first. Also, Nolan Smith dropping all the way to 30. My God, he just fell into the Eagles' laps. He fell into them. But this Keely Ringo was the 4th rounder, and he was 4th rounder, and another Georgia Bulldog, the Philadelphia Dogs on defense. It's going to be with Jordan Davis and the rest of the boys.
So, any questions you want to throw my way? Go ahead.
Did you watch the draft?
A little bit.
Okay.
But I know enough.
All right.
I got the picks on my phone if I have to look at it.
All right. I'm trying to figure out if you looked at the LA Raiders or the Las Vegas Raiders, since they're, they'll be playing the Broncos for last place in that West.
I didn't really look at them, but
because you have to see how the Seahawks had a strong draft. Yeah, a lot of West is going to be competitive. It's going to be tough for the Broncos to make a run in that division.
Seahawks ain't in my division.
Well, I'm sorry.
They got Devin Witherspoon.
LA Chargers.
Apparently, they got an offensive lineman. The Seahawks.
They
No,
got Witherspoon.
cornerback.
They got Witherspoon, and then the Raiders. Raiders had a decent year.
Go ahead, ask me a question. I want to hear your question. Your turn. Ask me a question.
Okay. Who's the best pick the Broncos have made in the last 5 years?
It's a hard one because I don't have a good pick. Maybe Judy.
I know.
And Judy's been hurt.
Jerry Judge Judy, can he come back?
And he's been hurt, so that's hard to say.
All right, well, let's just swing into football. Give me your overall. Talk about the Denver Broncos and how you see their team shaping up this year.
See them make the playoffs, but I still see the Chiefs winning the division. I'm not gonna be stupid and say the Broncos will.
Okay.
Last year I just did it to bust my cousins, bust his guts. But I still think Chiefs win the division. But I think the Broncos can win second place.
Okay, I like it.
I still think they can win the division, but they're gonna have to play like out of their mind. If I did a podcast football, I wouldn't be stupid. I would say Chiefs win the division.
Yeah.
Broncos coming second. I still think the Broncos.
Broncos second or Chargers second?
What have the Chargers done, man?
Come on.
9-7. They were 9-7 last year. You're 9-7-1 or something like that. You think the Broncos can't be better than that? With all they can't turn around better
I
than
don't
that?
know. They got an easy schedule.
No, they got pretty hard.
Okay.
They play the AFC West. They play Vikings. They play the Packers. They play I think they play the 49ers. They play hard teams, not hard as the Eagles. You know why the Eagles have a hard schedule?
Tell me.
Because they made it to the Super Bowl.
And I'll take that every day. I'll take that hard. I'll take that hard one any single day.
Just a
of
little,
the week.
just a little thing. Sixers are blowing out the Celtics right now,
We love that.
81-65.
We hope they can now keep this up. Who did you talk about? Bijan Robinson. Were you a fan of them going? Anybody going running back earlier? This guy sounds like he's a once in a lifetimer.
Who was it?
Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson.
He was chosen by the Falcons at 8.
Yeah. Should have said Brian Robinson.
Okay. Well, it's
I don't know. They
Bijan.
call him BJ, Bijan.
Bijan.
Yeah. Well, are you looking at the pics on your phone?
I'm going to pull some up here.
What do I think? I think the Falcons could have got a good steal. I mean, this guy was he the starter in Alabama? Yeah, and he was good.
No,
right?
he was starter in Texas.
Texas, right? He was good.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, Falcons need a running back, okay? Falcons are trying to rebuild. And at the end of the day, get whatever you get. They got my Florida guy, Kyle Pitts. They're going to try and bring this guy, and they're going to try to get whatever they get. Maybe redo their defense, redo their line, do whatever they can get. Because Falcons want to be good again.
Yep.
Last time they were a Super Bowl, they should have won. Matt Ryan, they choked.
That sure is.
You
That
know
sure is.
the best thing. You're playing Tom Brady in his prime. You can't take your foot off the gas.
Gotta hit him. Gotta hit him.
Like this.
We
Bam!
finally hit him in the Super Bowl. We couldn't hit Pat Mahomes, though, so we lost this one.
Pat Mahomes might win as much as Tom Brady if he's on this team.
And
Six,
and,
at least six.
And Big Red is the coach, right? Andy Reid.
I don't know, but
Come on, Andy's proven commodity. So others, I like the Chicago Bears draft. Obviously, they were drafting number one, so they had plenty of talent, and they'd stocked up. I like the, I'm not sure about the Lions, man. Here's another thing that turned out for the Eagles. The Lions surprise everybody, draft a running back at 12 and make DeAndre Swift expendable. Who does he come to for a song and a dance and a 5th round draft pick? The Philadelphia Eagles. The rich get richer, my friend.
let's talk about your Philadelphia Eagles for a minute.
Sure.
How far do you think the Eagles are going to win the division next year
Absolutely.
without any injuries?
Well, you can never count on that. Injuries is the X factor in any season. In the
Do you think
NFL.
Cowboys are going to be good?
Cowboys are always good. What I love about them is they're never great.
Giants?
They always choke. Cowboys choke.
What about
we
the
love the
Giants?
Cowboys because they choke every year.
Now's your problem.
As long as
Thank you.
who?
Now's your problem.
Which
For the
one?
first time in my life, I don't have to face Darren Waller twice a year. He's your problem now. Going to the Giants. He's your problem. Thanks for taking him out of my
Darren
division.
Waller, good.
He's
I
your
I
problem.
love the Giants. Giants did okay. They need some offensive line. They need to keep Daniel Jones clean. Saquon Barkley had a
Darren
great
Waller's
year.
not an offensive lineman.
I know, but they need offensive linemen to keep Daniel Jones clean, so he has
Daniel
time
Jones-
to throw it to Waller.
Does Waller scary? He scares me.
We don't put a lot in our we don't put a lot of time in our linebackers who would take on who would take on Waller. So nobody scares me when you've got the pass rush that we now have. When you've got the front five that can bring the pain: Hassan Reddick, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Milton Williams.
Aren't you a season ticket holder?
Yes, I am. Jordan Davis.
Don't you love that?
I love when there's nothing more than seeing the defense crush the opposing quarterback, collapse that pocket, send him on the run, and pick up a sack, pick up a fumble, pick up an INT. That's when the link rocks, when the defense is dominating. Are you getting out to Mile High? Have you been out to Mile High yet?
I've never.
Oh, okay. Well, we got to plan that one. Maybe when the Eagles play out there.
Eagles won't be out there for another 8 years. But I can tell you something: when the Broncos come to Philly in another 2, I'm going. I hope to see you there.
Well, you can sit with me if you don't mind sitting up high. So let's think of what else is happening. Let's think of what else is happening in the in NFL football.
I'm not a huge fan of going to football games, but when my team comes in for the first time in 8 years, I want to go see them live.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last time I've seen them. I don't see them very often.
Yeah, I think you got to get out there maybe for training camp or something in Denver. I think we got to plan a road trip for you and your Uncle Turk and your dad and I, and we got to make something.
As long
like
as
that
Eagles
happen
ain't
there.
playing, then we'll make it.
Yeah. Let's see who else we want to comment on. Oh, I'm going to go back here. Let's go back to the Broncos. Drafting for the Broncos. Let's go the AFC West. Where's the West? Darn it. All right. Raiders. So we're looking at NFL.com. The Raiders did well. They got too many holes, but they picked up a nice tight end, and they got an edge rusher who's pretty sharp. They ended up picking up an Alabama. Oh, they got some.
Let's talk about the Raiders real quick.
That's some young guys.
Let's talk about the Raiders real quick.
Yeah.
They moved on from Derek Carr, right, who's now with the Saints, right, for Jimmy G. Does that make any sense?
No.
Jimmy G.
It doesn't.
I think Derek Carr's better than Jimmy G.
100%.
And Devontae Adams is now ticked off because that's his best friend.
His buddy. Yeah.
Did you ever think this ain't all his fault? What about their offensive line?
Yeah.
You're blaming Carr. Is the offensive line good, or does it stink?
No.
It stinks.
That's right, man.
You're giving the man 2 seconds to throw the ball.
I just don't see that one there. They gave the Denver Broncos a C at NFL. They loved Marvin Mims. It's Marvin Sanders, the Arkansas linebacker. You picked up a cornerback. Hopefully he's some value for you.
Did they love him?
And then you also got a center and a safety. So you tried to bolster the defensive backfield a little bit.
Man, is going to be better than Devontae Smith.
So this is a recovery year for you guys. You guys ain't making the playoffs. I hate to tell you.
We're making the playoffs.
You got no shot at the playoffs. New coach, still putting the pieces together. Strong AFC West. I'm just sorry. I'm making the call right here, right now. Denver, no shot for making the playoffs.
How many wins they have?
But the year afterward, I think you guys can go 9 if everything falls into place.
Denver makes the playoffs. You heard it here.
But you got LA Chargers who are going to be better. You got the Chiefs who are not.
I'm not worried about
anywhere.
the Chargers. I can tell you what, their coach is stupid.
That's a pretty bold statement. Where are you basing that on?
I can tell you. Do you want me to tell you what I'm basing that on?
Yes.
Do you need proof?
Yes. They made the playoffs last year.
How about this? Yeah, but last year, 2 years ago, they needed, if they tied the Raiders, they get in the playoffs. They did something to turn the ball over, and Raiders field goal up and good.
That's our Brandon Staley. They gave him some crap.
Do you remember what they did to turn the ball over?
No, but
I forget.
I remember it was.
And then last year in Denver, there's no reason to play your stars. I get playing your stars for a little bit, but not for the whole second half.
Right.
Mike, in the third quarter, he's like, "We need a win. because we've been losing. You don't need a win. What Denver stinks. Mike Williams hurt his back because he got buried by one big linebacker. Cracked him, and he was out for the next round. And that still shouldn't matter. And they blew a 30-something point lead, but still, you don't play your starters that long in no playoff.
I agree.
Denver is playing in this game to win and not lose games. They're trying to play for momentum this game.
Who's your defensive coordinator, the Broncos this year?
Van Joseph?
Okay, so he's coming back in. Okay, because that's what you need to stay alive. You guys need a great defense and a rejuvenated Russell Wilson.
No, we need a good offense because we're gonna score 30 points this year. Click it.
How many games?
In like 6, I say at least all of them.
All right. So swinging back to let's look at the NFC East. We've talked about the AFC West there. We had the Eagles. We've already talked about the Eagles. Great draft. Steal of the draft. Kelly Ringo. And the Cowgirls. Let's see what the Giants did. They picked up a nice quarterback. They got a center. They need they got a wide receiver. They got a running back. Nobody scares us. They're still rebuilding. I do like their coach though. So, whether
you
he
can't
turns.
say the Giants are rebuilding. They made the playoffs last year. It's not rebuilding.
I know that's going to have one of those years where everybody says, "Oh, now the Giants are going to go up." They're going to have a down year next year.
They're not making the playoffs?
No, they're not making the playoffs next year.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not. And then the Cowboys. Let's talk about the Cowgirls. They defended. They got a Michigan defensive tackle. He probably has some kind of personality issue, or he's been in trouble with the law or something. Knowing the Cowboys, they got a tight end. They needed a tight end. They got rid of Schultz. They got a linebacker from Texas. Okay, nobody scares me. And they picked up this nice little story, Deuce Vaughn, who's about 5'6". His dad's a coach there. So as long as Jerry
Dad's
Jones,
coach where, Dallas?
as long as Jerry or a scout.
You're saying son reunites with his father?
Correct. Yeah, it was a very touching NFL draft day call when
his father called him.
Yep, it's great. And then you got the foreskins. The deadskins. The commanders. Whatever they're.
I can't call them the commanders. Commander. Redskins.
I agree with you. Emmanuel Forbes, a nice pickup at CB, and then they went strong in defensive backfield. But here's the bottom line. These guys are operating from a deficit. They're not anywhere near the talent level.
Did they get a quarterback yet?
Not anywhere near the talent level of the Eagles.
Did you look at the rest of the American League West besides just the Broncos and the Raiders?
And the Chargers. Yeah, we talked Chargers. They had an average.
What about the Chiefs?
Chiefs, they retooled.
No need to talk about the Chiefs?
No need to talk. They did what the Eagles did. They retooled. So we're looking at a NFC East in which everybody's trying to play catch up with the Eagles, but they're filling too many holes, Billy.
So we could be looking at a Chiefs-Eagles rematch?
I think so. I would love to see that. We're going to be playing them this year.
In Kansas
City. Well.
And you'll lose
regular season game.
You'll lose that one too.
Got to beat the best to be the best.
I think you guys win that game if you blitz.
Yeah, that's what we're going to have to do. Our defense will be better next year. It was number 2 in the league. It's going to be better next year.
You think you're going to bag the Super Bowl?
I'm not going to predict that, but yes, I think we can. We're top 4 team in the league.
Along with
let's talk about this. Wait, let's talk about it. Who are your top 4 teams in the league going into this year? Think about this.
Eagles.
Okay.
Chiefs.
Okay.
Let me think. Buffalo.
Okay.
And Cincinnati.
All right. I think I'm right in there with you. I'm probably going Cincinnati, Indoor, Buffalo, Eagles, Chiefs, and San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, and San Francisco.
Because they've got that rock solid defense and some good.
Did you hear Trey Lance is on the trade block?
He should be.
They want to go with Brock Purdy.
I know. They could have kept Jimmy G and got Lance for some bigger dollars earlier. But, you never know. With this
You think
stuff.
Trey Lance going to be good?
I don't know. this is one of those things, where if you don't get the guy on the field to find
Maybe the
out what he's
Broncos should
got.
offer a trade for Trey Lance and say, Russell Wilson, hey buddy, time for you to.
Well, Russell is going to need an heir apparent, but this is what's a shame about the Broncos, man. Boy, are they locked into a horrible contract if Russell Wilson does not produce. I think you hear that, right?
I heard that.
Okay. Well, are we signing off, man? Because you're looking at the back there. The screen's looking at the back of your head.
No.
You're watching the Sixers.
Doesn't matter if I was watching. You were talking at the time, dude.
Okay. I like to talk to somebody, not just myself. All right. This was a good session.
You got anything more to add before we end it?
I just can't wait once again for the NFL's football season, and
we are gonna have another one, but we can't.
We've got to have a preview, NFL preview and training camp.
We can't do that yet.
Okay.
But we can do who we think, or we can do one thing before we go.
What's that?
Who we think the two powerhouses are in each division conference. You say Chiefs, and I say Eagles, and I say also don't forget Bengals are right there along with the Bills. So there's three, and I got in the AFC.
Yeah. Well, we've got to go with you. Got to go three in the NFC. You've got to go Vikings, Eagles, and San Francisco 49ers.
Vikings, they stink.
There's a little bit of wild card action coming from me. A little bit of a wild prediction coming from me here.
All right, Dave, that was it. You got anything more to add before I go off?
Nope. I just got to say it's been a pleasure talking football
Pleasure,
with you
my man.
always, Billy Corsetti.
This is Billy Showtime Corsetti, and I'm out.